Good evening, everyone. How are you? Happy Valentine's Day once again. And of course, thank you so much for joining us from the United States and around the world. Welcome to the Diana Wright Show live online. We begin right now. And we are inviting you to call and wish your loved ones or your significant other happy Valentine right here on the show. The number 561-228-1921. That's 561-228-1921. And you can blast out your Valentine, hello, whatever you want to call it, shout out, and like those guys in China who use the gong, the loudspeaker, the town crier to say to their wives that they love them. And the wives reported that their knees were weakened by the sound of their husbands' voices. So we invite you to do just that right here inside of the Diana Wright Show live online. Well, now, today was an incredible day. Yes, it was. And, the news about Oscar Pistorius and all of that just kind of cramped the style of the day for me. Then, of course, it was raining most of the day. And then in the afternoon, it got even worse. So I guess there was a damper on the day in general. And there's lots of speculation about Oscar saying that, well, he was trigger happy and he loved guns and he had lots of guns and maybe his girlfriend surprised him at 3:00 in the morning. But then again, the neighbors are saying they heard loud noises and screaming and whatever. So I don't know if you can shoot someone who you know and then they're screaming and you don't stop. So you give like 4 shots. And then there's the fact that people are saying, or the police actually reported that they've been to the house a few times, several times, because of domestic violence. So right now, I'm not so sure what to believe, but I'm just saddened by the entire situation. And the politics made it no easier. Because today, as you might know or you may not know, that Hagel's appointment to be defense secretary was blocked by the Republicans in their filibuster. And I think shamefully, Ted Cruz from Texas, I don't know why he didn't come with his cowboy hat and his cowboy shoes to the Senate, to the hearing yesterday. Because the way he behaved and the way he acted and tried to belittle and smear the character of Chuck Hagel was just despicable. Indeed it was. And John McCain is trying to be nice now or, put on his nice face after he grilled the guy so nastily last week about the surge in Iraq and about the Iraq war. The man is correct in deciding that he was not for the Iraq war. He voted for it eventually, so they should be thankful. What is their problem? The Republicans seem to have gone crazy. They've lost it, the way they're behaving, and they're trying to stick it to the president by stalling the nomination of Hagel. It's not about Hagel, I don't think. It's about Benghazi. It's about they hate the black white man who is in the White House that should not be there, in their opinion. And he won a second term after McConnell decided that he was going to be a one-term president. He bucked it and he won. And he didn't just win by 2 votes. He won overwhelmingly. Popular vote and electoral college. So the Republicans are hopping mad and they crucified the UN ambassador, Susan Rice. So now they're trying to stick it to the president in another way. Your game is out in the open, Republicans. We are not fools. We know your game and we are not playing it. And people like Lindsey Graham, he needs to get a new voice. With his squeaky voice talking about he's going to stop this. What is his problem? Does he have a life? Or does he have other work to do? than to consistently be talking about Benghazi and trying to block a nomination of the president? The Constitution clearly states that the president has a right to choose the people he wants to be in his cabinet. Yes, he does have that right, unless it's some weird, unforsaken circumstance. So why are these Republicans behaving like children in Washington, D.C.? We must look like fools to all those Europeans watching their satellite TVs and seeing what's going on in America. I'm really, really, truly embarrassed for the Republican Party right now, because I really don't know what point they're trying to prove. And Mr. Rubio reaching for the water and then talking about he was thirsty. If you're thirsty and you just finished giving a Spanish language 30-minute, whatever it was, rebuttal of a speech that was not even given yet, or you did it before the president finished, or whatever time you did it, you should have drank some water before you started to do the English translation. It's not an excuse to reach for the bottle and act as if someone... And by the way, what that background that he was standing in front of, what on earth was that? And who told him that he should try to reach for water and look in the camera at the same time? If you're going to reach for the water, Mr. Rubio, you reach for the water and you come back to the camera. You don't try to reach for the water and look in the camera at the same time. It looks stupid. And he did the same thing at the convention, the Republican convention. He reached for the water and made a joke of it. So is it that he's nervous, even though they're trying to compare him to Barack Obama? He is no Barack Obama. And I don't think he's ever going to be no president either. The Republicans are trying to push him out there because they're figuring he's brown and he's Hispanic. So maybe he can get them some votes. No, he can't, because he still has the same principles and policies. He's just saying some other stupid things to fool us. And then, did he really listen to the president's State of the Union address? Because if you listen past the water drinking to his speech, I don't know what he was talking about. And which speech was he referring to? And who are his neighbors anyway? Why didn't he tell us where he lives in Florida so we could go find him and see who his neighbors are? This is absolutely incredible to me. To see grown men behaving like children, and they have a vendetta against a man, Chuck Hagel, their own Republican senator that John McCain wanted to put in his cabinet if he had won the presidency in 2008. All of a sudden now this guy is just a bad guy. Well, I believe that if the Republicans thinking he is so bad and displaying their malice and their hate towards this guy, there has to be something good about this brother. I do believe that is so. Because if the Republicans think it is so bad, there has to be some good. And that's the reason they're fighting the good. Just the way Mr. McConnell wanted to keep President Obama in his little place of a one-term president, and he was unsuccessful. So they're bitter, they're contentious, they're filled with hate and envy and jealousy, and they will do anything they can, and we are onto them. Don't let them fool you and tell you all kind of stories and make up things that Barack Obama did not even say. What is it with these guys? When are they going to get the message you lost the election by almost a landslide, and you need to pick yourself up, brush yourself off, and keep on stepping and do the job that you were elected to do by your constituents? Mr. Boehner, he's a little cry baby in front of the microphone. What is he saying? Are they listening to what they're saying? Do they believe? I think they're actually dealing with a Barack Obama that they have in their heads, a fictitious person that doesn't exist. Because you and I, who have normal brains and are normal people, we see the Barack Obama that everyone else sees. But the Republicans seem to have their own Barack Obama that they have created, and they hate, and they want to crucify, and they want him to be a one-term president, which he can't be anymore. And he will not run for another election anyway. So why are you fighting him? It is obvious. It is so obvious. It's ridiculous. So you want to tell me that all the Republicans in Washington are just as crazy as Mr. LaPierre, who is now trying to scare everybody from going to New York City because he is upset with, I guess, Mayor Bloomberg, because Mayor Bloomberg is standing up to them like a man should about this whole gun thing. So Mr. LaPierre decides to just talk some bad things about New York. Just be careful, because them Hispanic people, gangs will come and shoot you and kill you. What is he talking about? Which New York City is he talking about? The one of 20 years ago? It's not the one of post-Sandy. Because all the research shows that crime and everything went down during and after Sandy. So is Mr. LaPierre trying to get people to buy some more guns so he can get some more members? Or he's just trying to be evil? I would like to be a fly on the walls of Germany, France, and anywhere in Europe and listen to them say, what's wrong with these stupid Americans? They can't even nominate a Secretary of Defense without asking how much money he made where and how much he did this and why he did that and why he said this about Jews. And what he said about the Jews, the man that he said it to already said that he detected absolutely no malice or no anti-Semitic anything about the comment. So, what should we really believe about this whole blocking of nominations for Hagel, and they're about to do it to Brennan too? I do believe that there's some sour grapes from people who voted against the war or spoke against the war. And we're now hearing McCain saying today that Hagel said in the past that President Bush was the worst president ever. Well, was he or wasn't he? A lot of Americans believe he was, because he took us to war, a dumb war that a lot of people referred to it as. So what are we really supposed to believe? Senator McCain, who's now trying to tone it down, because he even came to the defense of Hagel yesterday when Cruz was running off his Texas mouth. I just wonder, when will this end? Are they ever going to get to the economy and infrastructure and things that matter? Jobs for the people. Are they ever going to get to gun control? Are they ever going to get to immigration? What are they ever going to get to if they're just stuck on displaying what I call revenge? Revenge is just a horrible thing. Yeah? And it seems to me that the Republican Party they're so sore, they're so mad, they're so unhappy that they will do anything to hurt the president. And indeed, I am here to predict that it will backfire, because elections are just around the corner in 2014. Midterm elections? Let's forget about 2016. Just think about 2014. If they continue in this breath of vengeance and revenge and hate and envy and jealousy, it's not going to play out very well for them. At least I don't think so. So I plead with all you Republican people out there who are asking for the president to give an olive branch. What olive branch? How many olive branches do you want the guy to give? He's been trying to give it for the past 4 years, and all they did was kicked him in the teeth every single time. So let's be real and honest about what's going on in Washington. And ladies and gentlemen, I keep asking you and begging you, you need to get on your phones, dial your numbers, and get to your senators and your congresspeople and the White House. Let them hear your voice. That may be the only voice you do have for them to hear. So let your voices be heard and call. And don't be afraid. Don't be bashful. You just have to say a few words. I am in support of the president's immigration policy. I am in support of Chuck Hagel's nomination. I'm in support of whatever the president is doing with immigration. I'm in support of the gun laws that the president is proposing. You don't have to say a lot. That's all you need to do and say and hang up the phone. Because they do it by numbers, the amount of people who call and actually say something. That's how it's done. You don't have to go through a long speech. Okay? So we got to do our parts to affect what's going on in Washington right away. Right now. We need to do it right now. Okay? To stop the blocking. And, you just wonder, are the Republicans trying to mess up our national security so President Obama can look bad? Oh no, I think you're the ones that will be looking bad, because don't forget, people are onto your game. You're all putting on a show, and behind the scenes, it's not so. So stop trying to fool us, because we're not stupid. We get it. We understand it. We know it. And we see the game you're trying to play. And you're not going to win. All right, so, hating the president is not going to get you anywhere. And it's not going to get you any more votes in 2016 from brown people, black people, or immigrants, or poor people now and middle class people. Because I included them in the bunch now that you all are so mad that the president had the nerve and the audacity to even suggest that little people could get $9 an hour. And Mr. Boehner says, oh, well, if you give them $9 an hour, what do you think is going to happen to the economy? People will just not hire anybody. No, Mr. Boehner, most small business owners have 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 employees. And the small business owners that are really, in our minds, not small business, but they are small business based on the requirements, those people are going to hire when they need to hire. Not because of $9 an hour. Okay? And $9 an hour is just fair. If you have to pay 10 cents more for your pizza, just pay it and shut up. Okay. Ha 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 ha. Let's go. It's Valentine's Day now, so whenever you want to call, apart from my ranting, you can give us a call. And you're in tune to the Diana Wright Show live online right here on the internet. The place that you can be seen all over the world. You never know who is watching. And welcome to those of you around the world and in the United States. And remember, April 30th is indeed the National I Love Me Day. So this day I give to you to love others and love yourselves too, of course, because there should never be a day that passes that you don't love who you are and you don't appreciate and love and nurture and take care of yourself, your authentic self. But come April 30th, I need for you to take some time and recognize that will be National I Love Me Day. Also, if you'd like to have me come and speak at your occasion, your gathering, or your church, don't be afraid to give me a call at 561-228-1921 or send me an email at dianawrighttv@gmail.com. Also, if you'd like to be a sponsor of the show or a partner of the show or just run an ad on the show, you can also give me a call at that number, and you can also send me an email. And of course, we're asking you to give us the thumbs up on Facebook and tweet us. Send us a tweet of whatever is on your mind and send us issues that you want to talk about. We will be happy to accommodate. This is your avenue to speak out, because it's not so easy to get to those network people, but it's very easy to access the Diana Wright Show live online. This is your show. Forget about me and, who's going to be successful or whatever. It's all about you. Yeah? It's all about you, your voices being heard. You're getting the proper advice. And the different experts that come on the program give you information that is necessary for you to succeed. And for you to come out of that depression, wherever you are deep down in that blue hole, to take you out and bring you into the green. So, what is our value of ourselves? Yeah? Someone else will always come along and beat us. And for athletes, there's always going to be somebody that's going to break your record. Usain Bolt is never going to be the fastest man in the world forever. His time will pass. Because I see life as seasons, just like the seasons of the weather. It doesn't matter what is going on in your life. Nothing, absolutely nothing lasts forever. For everything, there's a season. In Ecclesiastics in the Bible, I love to read Ecclesiastics. For everything, there's a season. And I don't care where you are right now, that season has an end coming. It will come. And on this Valentine's Day, it's a good time to dump the person in your life that is causing you pain and heartache and tears on your pillow and pain in your heart, because it's not worth it. So let this be the Valentine's that you set yourself free. If you're being abused in a relationship, verbally, physically, or mentally, it's time to get out. Today should be the last day. Today should be the day when you look in the mirror and you say, I love me. This is a day for love, and I'm just not going to take this anymore. So I give you the strength you need to do so, to protect yourself and your children. And don't forget to encourage your children to do the right thing for themselves and to love themselves. And stay on the right path. There's always only two pathways, if you ask me. The right one and the wrong one. Always try to choose the right one. Just the way Jesus tells us in the Bible. Choose life. Because even though life might be difficult or you don't have the millions of dollars that you think you need, life can be great. Just in a simple way. Just look at a lot of those people who don't have a lot of money, how happy they are. And all those people who live in various places and have different cultures, and they're so happy. Yet they're not wealthy, and you might ask, how come you're so happy? As a matter of fact, they did a survey in Jamaica the other day and found out that a majority of the people who live in Jamaica say they're happy, even though they're poor. So what are we complaining about? You should be happy you're not in Oscar's shoes tonight, in jail, for shooting his girlfriend. Well, I wish there could be another explanation for that. But as the day grew, it seems there isn't. Good relationships, what are they? What is a good marriage, and what is a good friendship, and what is a good relationship? A good relationship is one where you feel loved, you give love, you are able to receive that love, in a crystal clear way, and you don't just say, I love you, but you really have no action behind it. Those are the few things I think make a great relationship. And no relationship is going to be good every day. There's going to be days when you want to kill your partner. But then you back up and you say, no, I still like the person. He's still my friend, or she's still my friend. And I would like to see no harm come to her or him. So that's where we would like to see relationships go. And I plead with those of you who are in them bad relationships, hit the door running. Okay? It's for your own sanity and safety and well-being. And I promise you that there's light at the end of that tunnel, even though the tunnel might look so dark and never ending. There is a light at that end. All right? Okay. I'm totally amazed at Carnival Cruise Line and the unfortunate Valentine's Day journey of all those passengers. Was it 4,000 people or something like that? It is just amazing to see what those people are going through. They have red bags to use as the bathroom. No food to eat. And I'm trying to question, as my husband and I were discussing earlier, why couldn't Carnival send another ship to get the people? Why did they have to stay out there so long and then be using the tugboat? And unfortunately today, whatever instrument or string or steel or whatever they have connecting the two things, it broke when they were almost where they were going. I mean, people are just absolutely annoyed. And then it's being said that maybe they won't be able to sue Carnival because of maritime law. But then there's a lawyer who says they can, because they can sue them for, suffering and all kind of emotional problems and whatever. But how long is that going to take for people to regain their sanity? This is a nightmare. Simply. It's a cruise from hell. I just feel for those people. They were, holding up the signs today at the sides of the ship, and people were waving white towels or whatever they were waving, something. Help me, help me. And it seems there was no one to help. And when that rope or whatever it was broke, that chain today, it was just the last straw. I was not on the ship and I felt it deep in my soul. I'm serious. So I really feel for those families who are waiting in Alabama for their loved ones, just to know it was going to be 9 p.m. Then they change it to midnight. And right about now, I don't even know what time they're going to get there. Because I just got so frustrated, I just stopped watching. And I just kept changing the channel. Whenever it came on, I changed the channel. Because I was just not having it. Why could they have not sent another ship to get the people to take them on their journey or bring them back faster? I just think it's just unkind the way those people have been treated. And we're hearing stories because some people, of course, they have all the cell phones plugged in, so they're getting juice. And a lot of people are calling CNN and everybody else to tell of their nightmare. So we hope that will come to an end tonight, so the people can go home, have a nice bathroom to use, and get a shower and clean clothes and hug their loved ones on Valentine's Day. But I have the bad feeling that they're gonna not make it for the Valentine's Day. It just seems that way to me. So, if you'd like to wish your loved ones happy Valentine's Day, we're giving you a chance to say your shout out right here on the Diana Wright Show live online. The number to call, 561-228-1921. All right. So love, marriage, friendship It's all in the game, and of course we include your children in that. It's all in the game of a good relationship, and we should aspire to have one. Okay? However hard we have to try, because sometimes it's really hard, to have a good relationship, because somebody's always messing up or doing the wrong thing, or you find yourself forgiving all the time and nothing in return. And then you kind of wonder, is that person really into me or not? So, anyway, on the looking at health, believe it or not, your carpeting and your pots and pans, women, can be causing you to have osteoarthritis. Not men now, only women. So watch those pans, those non-stick pans that you're buying, and when you scrape them, whatever is in that non-stick is coming off in your food. Ladies, it's affecting us more than it affects men. So we got to be real careful. And I don't like carpet anyway, but getting wood floor is an expensive feat. So I've been dying to get wood floors into my house, but it's an expense. So you have to wait until you can buy it. I don't mean charge it, I mean buy it. Okay? So it becomes an expensive venture, but wood floors seems to be just the way, or now they have cork floors and they have the new linoleum. Okay? I still don't like it, but anyway. It looks good. And they have cork, which looks good too. And they have varied descriptions of wood. But it is expensive to change out from carpeting to wood. But ladies, that carpeting in your house might just be the culprit of your osteoarthritis. And the non-stick pots and pans that you're using might just be the culprit. So I guess we really, as women, need to take stock and maybe not use those things for a while. Maybe we just shouldn't use them for a while. And if we have them, make sure when you use your non-stick pan, you're using a spatula or a spoon that is, not stainless steel hard surface, but that hard plastic, so it doesn't scratch the surface. Because I suspect that if you don't scratch the surface, there's no harm done. But every day we know of something that hurts us more. I wonder what's going to be next. Oh boy, we'll find out. We'll see. So, also, on Valentine's Day, are you too shy to date? Is that something you're pondering this evening? I don't want to date because I'm too shy. Because guess what? I just saw them making dates on your smartphone. There's an app on your phone for dating. Amazing, amazing, wow. That's what I call a wow moment. You can actually go on your iPhone, they were using, of course, but I'm sure most smartphones can do it too. And they were literally telling you where the dates are, the single people in your neighborhood. One lady, she had 2 dates right next door her house. Now, I would be just a little bit scared. Not shy at all, but scared to go meet somebody I've never met before, or I don't know anyone who know that person. I guess if you meet at a restaurant, at a public place, then it's okay. But even then, who are you meeting? Who are you knowing online and on your phone, and you can just get a date? You can get 10 dates in an hour, they say. I just find that to be shocking. And women are so brazen these days, they're not even scared. Now, I would be scared of blind dates. They're calling it the ultimate blind date. And you have different people who have different apps on your phone for this blind date thing. Well, I'm not the blind date type. I don't know if you are. But if you are the blind date type, we encourage you to be safe and make sure when you're going out for that date, You are meeting in a public place with lots of people around that if anything happens, you can cry and scream and ask for help, okay? Because lots of women are going online and finding these guys and they're getting into big trouble. Men are marrying women from every state and having different wives in different states and children and a different life here and a different life there. One guy he had AIDS and was giving it to different women around the country. So, a level of caution, please. That phone thing of getting a date, 10 dates in an hour, might seem exciting and get the juices flow for the young people. But I say, beware, because you never know who you're going to bump into or who the blind date is. What if the blind date is some crazy guy? What do? Run away from the guy? I just wondered about that. What do you do if that blind date turns out to be some crazy person or someone who comes? Well, I saw one guy meeting the girl and he was dressed in all his winter garbs and he was just unloading his scarf as he said hello and peeling off his tons of clothing that he had on because obviously it was cold. And she was there all dressed up and spruced up and he just looked very casual. So I don't know. Maybe we want to look into this for a little while before we jump in 100%. Maybe just stick your toes in the water and twiggle it a little bit. Not your whole foot. That's what my advice would be for that. All right. So it's wonderful. And, technology is a great thing, but I don't think we should jump in 100% into that dating online on your smartphone by just downloading an app and people can know where you are and what you're doing. And it just seems unreal to me what happened to meeting someone through a friend or meeting someone at a party or meeting someone at church or meeting someone even in the grocery store? What happened to that? Wow. Are we so desperate for dates these days or what? My friends used to say, oh, Diana, be quiet because you're married. No, it has nothing to do with that. I remember being single very clearly and was never in any desperate need to be married or have someone. But my desperation was more so to be successful and earn some money to take care of myself. That's what I was more desperate about. But then you find someone and I think you find love when you're not even looking for it. It just comes because, you're happy with what you're doing for work and you are just going about your business and love just finds you. I truly believe that. So just open up your heart and your mind and your soul and your spirit and not be so desperate to find someone and then you find the right guy and, he beats you or he's unkind to you. He verbally abuses you physically, mentally, and, he just takes you down. I know of a person that some guy pursued her so profusely, and I kept saying, that guy is a monster. And she just never believed me. And indeed, he was a monster, worse than a monster. Because he was just in it for the game and for the money that he thought she had. So ladies, be careful. Please be careful out there. That Valentine can be a pain in your side. Okay, let's see what else we have here now. Past bad relationships holding you back. You should not allow, if you had a bad relationship in the past or a bad marriage in the past, and you're still open to dating and loving and having a Valentine, don't allow that bitterness from that relationship to carry over with you. Try to dump it, cast it into the sea without doubt, and leave it there. And then when you meet someone else, you can meet them with an open, clean heart not with all that baggage. All right? What odd requests do you have for Valentine's Day? What are some of the things that you would want that people would think, wow, why does she want that? Are there any odd things you requested or ever requested from your Valentine? Let me know. I'd love to hear. I was trying to think about that all day to see if I requested anything odd, but no. As a matter of fact, one guy told me one time that I was a cheap date because I don't drink alcohol and I'm not, overly wanting gifts and that kind of stuff and jewelry and whatever. Because I always believe I can buy my own stuff. My husband thinks I'm too independent. Yeah? But that's just me. And if you ruffle my feathers, I've been at home already and guys ruffle my feathers and I'm there and they're ringing my doorbell and I'm inside and I will not answer. No, you cannot come in because you are not behaving right. So if I can do that, you can do it too. Just don't say anything. Silent treatment, I think, is one of the greatest punishments on earth. Just give people the silent treatment and they will get the message soon enough. All right. Just take time to do you. I think Nene Leakes on Atlanta Housewife is famous for saying that. Just do me. I am going to do me. That's what she keeps saying. And I say congratulations, Nene, for taking time to do you. Yeah? Just do you. And that's the reason I keep telling you that you need to love yourself. Because if you love yourself and you keep telling yourself, I love me, then you will be free to do you. And no one will get in the way because you are the only one in the way of yourself, not loving yourself. Okay, maybe it's not so bad to be single after all, ladies and gentlemen, but if you choose to be single and grow old by yourself, please do me a favor. Do not envy your children for their happy lives with their husbands or wives, because I've seen it happen with a very good friend of mine. Her mother chose to be single and by herself, but then she resented the fact that her daughter was happily married with her husband and had her fabulous new house. So parents, if you choose to be alone, do not depend on your children to be your company, because they are not going to be, especially if they're boys. Because girls will come back and take care of you. The boys will just pay somebody to do so if they do anything. All right? And I can hear the guys going, no, Diana, that's not true. But look at the surveys. It will tell you. Girls will always be responsible for their mothers, especially if they had a close relationship. But guys will keep on walking because they're just entwined and entangled in their own family. But the women will always take care of their parents. So if you choose, again I say, to be single and be alone in your golden years, do not display jealousy with your children's happiness and the fact that they decided to have a relationship with someone. All right? I'm just asking. You don't have to comply, but I'm just asking. So single life might just not be that bad anyway. But if you're single, you need to enjoy being single. Yes? I think that's a good thing. Don't every day you're single and you get up and you're like, oh, I can't find a guy. And oh, I can't go out because I don't have a guy. Yes, you can go out if you don't have a guy. Find a girlfriend to go out with or hang out with. Find a group of friends. Start your own little group. Start your own book club. Start your own gathering. Whatever you want to call it. Start a I Love Me gathering. I'll come there and get it started for you. With 10 or so women, just Have I love me sessions and bounce off each other. You know, what do you do to love yourself? How do you feel about yourself? Ask questions. Have a little hors d'oeuvres and some juice or some drinks or whatever you are into. And just have a nice gathering and enjoy being single. Go to a restaurant if you can in a group. Go to the movies. You can do all of that being single. Travel with girlfriends. That can be interesting. Know new places. And you would see that life is not so bad after all. All right? So, single ladies, put a ring on it, according to Beyonce. But if you don't get that ring, enjoy your singleness. All right? Okay. Well, I guess no one wants to say Happy Valentine to their loved ones? My goodness. Wow. That is not cool. Anyway, in business today, Warren Buffett and his wealthy friends and associates are now owners of Heinz Ketchup. I know that Mr. Buffett said he liked hamburgers, so I guess he truly loves ketchup too, because he says he buys what he loves. So I guess he loves ketchup. Oh my goodness, Warren Buffett, what an investor he is. Anything he touches turns gold. And he's just the man of humility. And when his wife died, it seems like he is just not into getting another wife. He's by himself and he is just buying up everything in sight. So now he's bought up Heinz with a group of his friends. And of course, U.S. Airways and American Airlines joined forces today. A merger took place. What does that mean for you and I in terms of our travel? I've traveled American Airlines up to last year. I used them to go to Europe. Wonderful treatment on American Airlines. But what does this merger mean? They're now going to be the largest airline in the U.S., possibly the world. Wow. I wonder about that. What service are we going to get now? Is the service going to be better or worse? Well, I gather they're going to keep the American Airlines brand name as the name of the airline. But I just wonder, how are we going to benefit as the consumers? Because they always try to stick it to us. We always seem to be the loser in the whole equation of mergers and acquisitions. So I just wonder about that. Hope it's for our better. And I hope that it will give us more opportunities to move around the country. Because you know I do encourage travel, whether you travel by car or by plane. You need to get out of your comfort zone and visit other places, meet other people, find out about other cultures, other foods. Don't tell me you come from Trinidad and you ain't only going to eat Trinidadian food, or you come from Jamaica and you only like jerk chicken and stewed peas and curried goat. Or you come from Barbados and flying fish is your favorite. Explore, expand your horizon, and experiment with other foods. And you may just be surprised. All right. I think I have to put my glasses on for this one and I'm going to put on my half eyes because it's stronger than my regular glasses. Because I saw this today and I was so impressed with this letter that came from, on this Valentine's Day too, from an ER doctor. He wrote a letter to a patient. It says, dear, he's writing now to the woman's husband because she died. He said, dear Mr. So-and-so, I am the emergency medicine physician who treated your wife, Mrs. So-and-so, last Sunday in the emergency department at hospital. They didn't name the hospital. I learned only yesterday about her passing away and wanted to write you to express my sadness. In my 20 years as a doctor in the emergency room, I have never written to a patient or a family member, as our encounters are typically hurried and do not always allow for more personal interaction. However, in your case, I felt a special connection to your wife, who was so engaging and cheerful in spite of her illness and trouble breathing. I was also touched by the fact that you seemed to be a very loving couple. You were highly supportive of her, asking the right questions with calm, care, and concern. From my experience as a physician, I find that the love and support of a spouse or a family member is the most soothing gift, bringing peace and serenity to those critically ill. I am sorry for your loss, and I hope you can find comfort in the memory of your wife's great spirit and your loving bond. My heartfelt condolences go out to you and your family. And this was actually circulated on the internet by her son, her 24-year-old son, who posted the letter and said in an email interview with Huffington Post that the outpouring of support from Reddit users has helped him cope with the passing of his mother. Oh my goodness. He said he posted the letter to the site with the header, "This letter from my late mother's doctor has changed my life." And, you know, I thought that was so impressive for a physician to take time out to write a letter of this nature. So kind, so caring, and so loving. You feel the letters giving you love jumping off the page. And when I read it today, I thought I had to read that letter to you on this Valentine's Day. And for them to have it on Huffington Post on this day, it was just absolutely wonderful. So you see, while we're worried about our Valentines, other people are worried about losing and the loss of their Valentine and their mother or their father or their loved one. So let's be thankful and grateful that we're alive and just keep loving yourself, because loving yourself is the ultimate power you can give to yourself. Moving on now to Pope Benedict. Pope Benedict bumped his head in Mexico, and I'm trusting that you all remember when he visited Mexico, but it is said that it was not part of the equation why he resigned his post. He actually fell and hit his head during a nighttime, whatever he was doing in the nighttime. It was unfamiliar territory in that hotel, and he fell down and bumped his head. My goodness. The Pope. Poor Pope Benedict. Now they say he's going to be, after that mass he did yesterday, he will no longer want to be seen in public after he gets out of office on the 28th of February. He will be residing at the Vatican in, I guess, some special place there, and he will no longer want to be social or come out and join any public conversation. So we wish him well, and we hope he will be happy and rested and taken care of. I'm sure he will be taken care of at the Vatican. So that's about it for the Pope. Wow. Didn't know. I told you that we're going to hear more things. Just like we're going to hear more things about Oscar. You know, Mr. Pretorius out of South Africa. Why did he really shoot his girlfriend? Did he really shoot his girlfriend? Was she surprising him for Valentine's Day at 3 o'clock in the morning? Or did they argue and he decided to just be trigger happy, as we hear that he was? We heard that he was rough with a girlfriend of the past, and he was angry with someone who was trying to steal his girlfriend, and all kinds of stories. So we'll just listen and we'll pass them on as we get them here. But something I thought was very nice today online, and it was giving us a list of the friendliest town in the United States. Wouldn't you like to visit those towns? I would. I would like to visit every single one of these towns to see if they're really speaking the truth. And one was Sammamish, Washington. The next one, number 2, was Orinda, California. They say it's in the northern part of California. Fishers, and that's in Indiana. Seal Beach in California. Number 5, Westerville in Ohio. Frisco, and that's in Texas. Big old Texas, where Mr. Cruz, mean Mr. Cruz, is from. Alpharetta, Georgia. I've been there. That's the only one I've been to, I think. Yes, I've been there. Love Alpharetta, Georgia. Love Atlanta, Georgia. Love Santa Barbara, California. But somehow Santa Barbara didn't make the cut here. Was it now? Downers Grove, and that's in Illinois. Number 9, Huntington Woods. That's in Michigan. And Tule, and that's in Utah. Those are the friendliest cities or towns in America. So you might want to plan your vacation this year and visit one of those towns and let me know, were they speaking the truth or were they lying? Are these people in these little towns really friendly? I was actually surprised that Santa Barbara did not make the cut, because I love Santa Barbara. It's such a beautiful place to visit. You should visit it sometime. Santa Barbara, California. It's really beautiful, and I found people there to be quite friendly and quite nice, so I was surprised it wasn't on the list. But anyway, okay, I wanted to go back to 2 stories that I did last night because I thought they did not get enough time, because I kind of just mentioned them in a quick flash. And one of those stories is about the graduate student, Megan Thode, who sued her professor for giving her a C grade. I think it was C+, but it's a C grade, period. It's just in the C mode. And she said that costed her $1.3 million in future earnings. So the degree that she really wanted to have and studied for and worked hard for was a degree to be a therapist. But instead, because she got that C, she was forced to get another degree that's titled Human Development. I did not even know there was such a measure. Human development. I know about therapist, but human development? What does that mean? What you can do with that? What does that degree really mean? So I congratulate her. We don't know the backstory. I'm sure we'll get the backstory soon enough. But I heard someone chuckling when they heard that this morning and said, wow. It was a guy. He said, wow, I guess I'd be suing a whole lot of professors when I was in school. So I guess he was a C student a lot. And don't forget President George W. Bush, who said he was a C student and was proud of it. Okay? So maybe he should have sued a few people? I am not sure about this, but I do believe that it is an empowering story, and it really befits my segment called Young Power, because it shows me that young people really believe they have power and they are actually using that power. Because she could have gone away quietly and we'd never know about the professor, and his name was online and everything. The school, I think, was in Lehigh University in Bethlehem. And she just decided that she's not going to take that going down. So yes, I guess she accepted her human development degree, but she was not going to let him get away with it. And what amazed me mostly about the story is that he gave her a zero for classroom performance. That means she said she spoke up in class, but he's giving her a 0 for performance, because in his mind she did not contribute to the class. Now I find that very hard to believe. Is it that that professor just didn't like her or something? Because I find it hard to believe that a student who has the ability to go now and sue a professor for a C grade would not be the kind of person that would speak up in class. So he gave her a 0. A fat 0. And she was really mad about that. The C grade plus a 0 for performance in class. She just couldn't take it, and she did something about it. So young people, you do have what I call young power. So use that power in a positive way. Use that power to affect change. Use that power to do good. Use that power to make yourself a better person. Use that power to engage yourself in life and be part of your world. And use that power to make yourself a better person by loving yourself and empowering yourself. And life for you will just be much better. So we'd like to applaud and congratulate Megan Thode for her courage and her bravery to take on a professor who she thought wronged her by giving her a C and a 0 for participation in class. I just can't believe that. I'm just, not really feeling that. Because I just believe she must have spoken up a few times. So you mean to tell me that you only thought she deserved a 0 for contribution in class? Wow. So what happened to those young students who are so shy and don't speak up in class? Are they all getting 0s for performance in class? Or some teachers, like this professor, is probably just being mean-spirited. Or, like my girlfriend's son told her that, Mom, teachers get license to be mean to people's children. Because I guess he figured he was getting too much homework. Or the teacher was not being very nice when she spoke to them in class. So that was his perception of what was said to him or what was being done to him in high school. He believed that teachers get license to be mean to children. To other people's children, that is. So teachers, is that really who you are? I don't think so. No. There are too many nice teachers that I know. I can clearly think of Mr. Bender, who taught English at my daughter's junior high school, middle school, whatever they call it. It's a school before you get to high school, yeah? And he was such a good teacher. He knew his stuff. He loved the students. He taught very well, because some teachers just really can't teach to save their lives. They might be smart, but they're just not good teachers. But he was actually such a good teacher. He made the English sound exciting. Yeah? And whatever books they were reading at the time, he made sure that book was exciting when he was talking about it. When they were writing, he found a creative way to say, when you're starting your essay, you start with something called the boss. And, I just watched him. I watched him in action, and he was just one of the best teachers I've ever seen. So there are wonderful teachers out there, but there are indeed some duds that call themselves teachers who are really not teaching anything. They pull things off the internet and they give the children a lot of worksheets to do, and they're teaching a language, but, they're not really teaching the language. Because if you're teaching someone a foreign language, you should be speaking the language in the class, as opposed to getting sheets and thinking about the grammar. When you learned English, you didn't know when you were a little kid learning English as your mother language. No one was sitting you down and teaching you the grammar. They were just teaching you to read, and that was it. So a lot of these schools, they're teaching Spanish, or some of them are teaching Japanese and Mandarin now. I just wonder, they need to be speaking the language and not worry so much about the grammar. The grammar will come, but the children need to be learning to speak the language through the music, through song, through just talking every day language to each other. And hence, the other thing I wanted to discuss that I brought up last night was the college application process, where they believe and they treat your children as if they're interviewing for this job that's going to pay them $1 million. And why is it that every application you send out is $50 or $100 or sometimes more? And then they're recommending that you apply for 10 colleges. So add that money up and see how much you get. How many parents can really afford to apply for 10 colleges charging $100 a pop or $50 a pop? Especially in this economy. Wow. Is there another way? Is there a better way? Is there a less stressed way for these young people? And they have to write essays and mission statements and, speak about their goals. And then they have to go to this interview and they have to make sure they have the right dress on or the right pants on, or, they have to be well groomed, or it's just too much stress. Yeah, you might think I'm old. I'm not old. But when I went to college, it was not so difficult to go. You went in, you filled out the application, you take your SATs at your high school, you pass, and you get in. And you pay your little registration fee. It was nothing like $50. The process to go to college is filled with nothing but stress. And young people, just utilize your power. Don't give up. I encourage you to be persistent. Apply to the schools that you really, truly want to go to if your parents cannot afford to apply for 10. Because, they tell you, oh, you should apply to this one for backup. And just in case you don't get that one, you have this one. And, it's a whole lot of stories. But apply for the schools that you really want to go to. And don't waste your parents' money. Yeah, if there are 5 schools that you truly like and want to go to, apply to those 5 schools. And if it so happens that you get into none, you start the process again. Life is not running any place. This is your time to shine as young people and utilize that young power that you have. And you're not doing it for your parents. You're doing it for yourself. And on that note, I will say thank you so much for joining me this evening. And thank you for taking time out to be part of the program, whether you called in or you didn't call in. And for the rest of the evening, the rest of the Valentine, enjoy yourself. Make it a blessed one. And if you got chocolates, do not eat the whole box in one sitting. And if you're out to dinner and you're not able to watch the show, when you come back home, you can find it on YouTube. And shortly after, you'll find it on the website, DianaWrightTV.webs.com. You will find it there. So, as I always say, thank you so much for joining me. And don't forget to send me an email at DianaWrightTV@gmail.com, or join me on Facebook. Be my friend. Give me the thumbs up. Yes. And also, I would love to hear your thoughts. And you can give me a tweet too if you'd like. That would be a nice, pleasant surprise. Yeah? I'd love that. And just take good care of yourself. If you're lonely tonight, it's only a day. Tomorrow will be another beautiful day. And if you're married, just enjoy your spouse, because tomorrow is not promised to any of us. Kiss and hug your children as much as you can and teach them to love themselves as you learn and begin to appreciate and love yourself too. If you love something, set it free. If it comes back, it's yours. If it doesn't, it was never yours. So give it up and move on and live life to the fullest. Remember that Jesus told us that he wants us to have life prosperous in abundance. Yeah, that's what he promised. So let's take that promise to heart and take him at his word and enjoy the rest of this Valentine's Day. And don't worry if you don't have a Valentine. You are your best Valentine. Ciao. and have a good evening.